Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I am going to show you how you can arrange a track from a loop into a fully structured, finished track that's ready for the finishing touches. This is going to be a follow-on from the video we made recently on the Sekora track that we made from their sounds. So let's just dive straight into it, shall we? So here we are in the project file, and we have the track, which sounds a little bit like this. I'll give you a little demo of the loop. If you remember, I made this using only sounds from the Sekora Diva pack, which is fantastic. We were playing around. If you want to check out the video of the creation, it's up here before you watch this. But what we're going to do is structure this based on using a reference track. Now, this was actually a suggestion from some members in our free school community. If you want to join that, the link is in the description. But what we're going to do is actually drop in a couple of references from Sekora. Now, a lot of people struggle with arrangement, so I'm going to use a reference track to show you how you can make it pretty straightforward in terms of arranging a tune and the process of doing it. So we're going to do it with some Sekora references. I have two here. Drag and drop them in. There's one from Yoppy, I believe is how you pronounce his name, and one from Packer and 88 Birds. Now, so what you want to do when arranging with a reference is take a listen to what's unfolding over time, essentially. Like what elements are in, what elements are not in, and how the elements are changing over time as well as an important thing for when you start doing automation. So it's quite stripped back. Atmospheres and drum textures. There was that plucky sound. Then every 8 bars, something's going to change, right? So something else is going to come in here. The shakers come in, but it's still quite stripped back. And you can hear that plucky synth being filtered in from here. And it sounds like there's a plucky texture coming in. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to add here. So bass in. You can use some markers, which can help. Pluck in. And you can do... And you essentially do this technique. You go through and just write what happens in the course of the track. Now, every track is going to have a slightly different arrangement, sure, but you'll often have very similar patterns that take place. So once you know, let's just say 5, 6, 7 types of arrangement, that's usually all there are, really. Then you kind of know them all because dance music follows a very similar structure. So using a reference track is going to really help with that. So this is how you would use a reference, and just notice the sections, right? You'd have like the chorus, the atmosphere, plucks, or just parts coming in. Now, I'm making critical notes here, and then I'm going to apply it to my track. So more generally, you have like intro, like bass in to build, then drop, more energetic drop, breakdown, drop, breakdown, drop, and long drop section, and then outro. So just follow the macro structure of the track, essentially. It's not super complicated, but you're just applying it with your sounds. Here we've got a structure of what we could do, but let's just do that. So I usually start with the drum arrangement. So let's just copy all of the drums over with our track here to the start, which would be over here. This is a really full drum arrangement here. Now I'm going to actually high pass the kick to start with, like so, at about 120 hertz. There we go. And we can control this auto filter. So maybe we have the kick high passed for 16 bars. And let's not give away all of the drums just yet. Have a bit more stripped back. Take the shaker off. And we could actually take off the hats and everything here. Just have that to start with. And then we can bring our shaker in here. And what I'm going to do is actually take off the last bar of the kick just before the full kick comes in here. Right? And we're building towards this drop part here. Yeah. And I might actually save the hats and the snare for later. So let's bring them in there where it says snare in. Now what I'm going to do is let's take the atmosphere as well. This is probably going to be playing the whole way through the track, just to set the tone. So just going to loop this for a long time. And what did they have in their track? They had like a little pluck sound. So we could maybe bring in this chord support here. But what I'm going to do is, with arrangement, right? With the melodic parts, think about it this is the kind of rationale I would have with arrangement. So the rationale I have with arrangement is you've got your loop. That's going to be your climax. You have to think, how am I going to get here? And we have things like elements that we can give away over time, right? But you can give back a stripped back version of them. You can give away the chord progression. You can give away lots of stuff. Based on just one element, right? You can give away the full power of the kick, the full power of the bass, or just a stripped back, or just a thinner version of the bass. So you don't have the sub in, or a thinner version of the kick. There's all sorts of stuff you can do if you're creative about it. So for this, I'm going to actually only have the first bar of this in to start with. I might even take off that last note there. Just because it's a little bit skippy and scatty. Right? Then the bass is going to come in here. Let's maybe just bring in the... We could just bring it all in, actually. Maybe not the mid-wide. Let's bring in the sub and the main component here. But what I'll do is actually have this on the root note, which is A. And notice that the root note A doesn't actually come in until a lot later in the chord progression. So we're giving away the chord progression later, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is just have this note playing A constantly. And then at the end of the 8 bars, so most of your focus really wants to be at every 8 bar, there's going to be something changing, right? So you want to kind of focus the listener's attention with little things you do at the end of the 8 bars. So here we just have this long continuous note. And at the end, it goes boom, boom, boom. There's an octave jump, right? Let's copy that down. We have this. But what I will do as well is I'm going to give away the power of the bass. I'm going to filter it in, like so. It is very bright in my studio this morning as well. I hope my face isn't glaring too much. So we have something like this. Start off like so. Now, what we can also do is have it a bit thinner to start with. So I'm going to actually also have a high pass filter as well as a low pass filter. And I'm going to just make sure I label them because it's easier when you start automating stuff. So high pass, low pass. The high pass, I want to go the other way actually. So down to here, maybe. And then we turn it off here. So this is going to start off quite dark. Maybe we need a bit more of the lows in. And then it's going to get brighter, bigger, fuller. And then suddenly we give away the bass power here. But we're going to do the chord progression here, right? You can hear it coming in. And then maybe we add in the mid layer here, which should be up an octave, I believe. Right? We're going to need some drums as well. And what I'm going to do is actually, for the last 2 bars, high pass the kick again, and just leave the last 2 off. And let's copy that over here. That's just going to help the track flow a little bit better, add a sense of movement and contrast to when the drop happens. So let's just start building the elements in. So we had the vocal come in here. So maybe what we could do, rather than bring the vocal in, is we could bring in, maybe we could bring in our vocals. Why not? Bring them in here. But maybe we could just strip them back a little bit. Do that so it's not as frequent. Just have this section looping. Like so. Group these together. Cool. So what I'm thinking is we could start bringing in something nice, like the top line here. So this is actually going to be interesting because the lead top line is played by this lead sound, but then we also have a piano melody. So we could start playing with this when the vocal comes in. So just have something like that and strip it back a little bit. And then we have ding ding. Copy that over there, see what this sounds like. That's where I wanted it. Okay. That sounds quite nice. And then let's copy this over here again. That's nice. Just keep it progressing a bit further. And then I might copy this part over here. And then duplicate that. I'm trying to get it so it's a bit more stripped back as time goes on, right? Duplicate that. And this is where the snare's coming in. So let's bring the rest of the snares in here. And then we're going to have another little break here. This is where the full chord progression comes in. Oh, that didn't copy over. There we go. Take off this automation here. See where it's going. And then we can bring in the full chord progression for the plucks here. And let's copy this over. Put the full piano melody in. And copy these over. Maybe we bring in the piano chords as well. This could be a nice little lift up. That's pretty nice. Where it says the snares comes in, maybe we add in this high supporting pluck sound as well. Maybe we can bring that in later. You don't want to blow your wad too early, so to speak. Otherwise you won't have anywhere to go. So we've got the core. So yeah, atmospheric plucks come in here. So let's maybe throw in, we've got some atmospheric plucks. Let's dump them right here. We've got this. And this comes in. Maybe we actually save the piano. Yeah. Bring this in. This is quite a big contrast. What did they do in this track? Yeah, they had the piano playing. So let's keep a little bit more texture in with the vocals. This could be maybe where we bring in the ARP, because we don't want to give everything away too quickly. Oh, maybe even start filtering this in here, just so it doesn't come in super aggressively. I'm going to add some auto filters as well on the sounds. Dump them before side chaining, like so. This can start being filtered in here. And then here we have this little mini break. And here we're going to want the low pass kick. So what we could do here is, I'm going to filter out the lows and the highs here. I don't want the full power of the kick. Like so. Just have it turned off here and here. This will be low pass. We're going to want that moved over a little bit. Cool. And maybe start bringing in the bass again. And filter it in as well. Filter in. Let's keep these atmospheric pads in. And this ARP. They had this LFO sound. We're going to need something to sweeten the deal here. Maybe we can use these pluck supports to bring those in. Let's keep the vocals in. Maybe have some of the percussion textures in. Then we go into the drop here. We're going to want our sidechain channel here as well. And then dump all of the drums here. And get rid of this low pass filter. Oh, the kick is still high passed. We don't want that. There we go. Keep this ARP in. And this could be where we start introducing our main lead sound here. We don't have a top line in. So let's pop this here and strip it back a bit. What I could do as well is just take this part here, and where the LFO lead takes place, we could have it here. Maybe here. And do something weird with this. And then we can maybe take off little parts of this to save the full version later. That's quite nice. And we have a longer, dancier section here. Let's copy this over. And again, just loop this through and copy that over. Copy all this over. And this could be where we bring in the chord plucks in. It says LFO lead in. Let's copy these in. And then let's not have this final version here. Delete that. And just copy this part down here. There. And this wants to be here. And then maybe we just leave that part there, hanging over the edge. What do they do here? There's a big break here. So maybe we just have it really stripped back. These plucks in. Something like this. What do they do? Start bringing in the bass, I think, and the top line. So let's just take our bass here. And we had a 4-bar break. Top line in with the bass. Yes. Let's filter it in as we did before, like so. Copy this. And when do they have the drop? I have a little build here, so let's do build 99. When's the next 8 bars? There's a 4-bar break. But let's not just do the 4-bar break. Let's just go straight into this here. Make it easy for ourselves. Follow that same structure. And then we bring the full lead in here. Boom. Let's get those pianos in to fill out the chords. They have drums here? Nope, they do not. This is pretty epic. And bring in the chord plucks here. And I think this could be where we start building. So I'm getting a little bit off script here with the arrangement with the reference, but you know, you don't have to follow the reference exactly. Let's start bringing in the percussive sounds because it is pretty dry here. So, start filtering these in or something. So on this groove rack, I'm going to throw an auto filter on. Oh. Boom. Dump this here. We just start filtering this in. We could even filter in our kick as well. I reckon let's filter it in with a click. And the high pass. So you'll see what I mean here. Let's filter this in, but I'm also going to do the... I'm going to do both the low pass and the high pass frequency. So there's a lot of automation taking place. And this is only scratching the surface of automation, by the way, guys. If you want to see a video on automation, do put a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe as well while we're here, because that really helps me out. Let's just filter in this kick a bit more. And then we're going to automate this part to come down. So it's going to start very thin and clicky. You'll see. And ideally you want this to come in later. And then like leave a little moment of inflection here. Cut everything. Like this. And then the drop hits here. Maybe just do kick only here. So where's the drop? It's here. Drop. And we need to un-high pass all of this stuff. Oh, we need to solo this part, or remove it, I should say. Yeah. Maybe bring in the plucks here and the up. High pass the kick here. I kind of want the shakers in, or percussive loops in here as well. And here. Get the shakers in, and the full drum groove comes in here. And let's double this over. You see where this is going, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we can bring in the vocal textures again. I totally forgot about them. Oh, we have the high pluck as well. Forgot about that. Let's bring that in here. It's nice. And I reckon, oh, we've lost our kick, and probably the bass is going to come out. Let's just extend stuff for a longer time, gives us more space to play with. We have this. And I reckon after this, we can bring the piano in here, and then let's do the piano melody as a way of getting out of the climax of the track, like so. Duplicate that. Just have another few bars of that, and then we can go back to monotonic. And where does... so here. Monotonic, which means just the root note on the bass. We already have that, so we could copy this over. Like so. Copy the static chords over here. Boom. You see where we're going? So we've got this. Let's get these vocals in. Oh, we've lost our drums. And then we maybe just had the last... let's just have the last note here, like do, just so it resolves. And what we could do as well, just to emphasize that change, is high pass the kick here, just temporarily. Like, hey, something's going to change. And then I'm going to high pass the kick for 8 bars here. Maybe 4 bars. Maybe actually 8. Just so people know the track is ending here. We're going to end. and that little ghost note or grace note or whatever at the end doesn't quite work on the bass. So let's just move that up so it goes a bit nicer. That should be down an octave. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, actually, this shouldn't be down an octave. This is where we're going to start ending the track. Let's have the percussive groove in. We basically just do the opposite of what we did at this intro. And just high pass the kick in here. And then maybe we get rid of the ARP there. We could filter out the... I think we could filter out the bass pretty quick here. Let's just filter it out. Like so. And then filter it. Make it darker as well. And then the end of the track's going to be here. Beautiful. Oh, we have a little bit of extra kick. But yeah, there you go. And that's pretty much the exact same length as the reference track. So yeah, that's essentially it, guys. We've got our structure down. So we've broken out of the loop. Now this is structured. This is at least resembling a finished track, but there's a lot of more stuff that we need to add in, which is actually outside the scope of this video. We have to do things like automation. We're going to have to potentially add in some ear candy sounds, perhaps even additional elements as well, just to fill out some of the spaces, particularly in the breakdowns. Also transitional effects, and automation on the sounds. But let's just take a quick listen all the way through to see how it flows without interruption. But it should make sense and flow, have a nice structure, so let's check it out. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to actually filter in some of the sounds as well, which I haven't done. I'll just do this super quick, but generally also filtering sounds in, like this. And filter in this piano as well. Probably do it on the vocals. So we will enhance the drop sections with reverse crashes, rises and stuff here. So the drop's not really that emphatic at the moment. And that comes in quite hot as well. I'm going to do something interesting in the next video to introduce those. Probably don't need to filter that in actually. Sassel. yeah, the transitions need work. Reverse crashes, stuff like that. Bass is coming a bit slow. Just hint that lead. Again, the transitions need a lot of work. Yeah, we haven't given away the full power of the lead here, the full progression of it, because, you know, you don't want to blow your wad all at once or play all your cards at once, as the saying goes. Second drop. Now, this track doesn't have the tension and release in just yet. Most of this is going to come through the effects, the automation that we'll do in the next video, and various other parts which are going to really take this track to the next level. But hopefully what you're seeing is this does resemble like a structured and flowing track. Really like this, actually. I hope Sekora do as well. The piano melody is a little bit jarring, but we can fix that. And we're going into the final outro here. This is where we're like closing down the track, and you'd probably be mixing into the next track if you're DJing it. So this is going to be for the extended mix, right? But we would probably also make a radio edit for Spotify. And then probably filter out the plucks here. Beautiful. There you have it. Now, yeah, this isn't at the point where I would consider this finished. This is probably where a beginner intermediate would say this is finished. But this is where the magic happens, and where the advanced producers and pro producers would just be getting started. But hopefully you found this video helpful in terms of breaking out of the loop. It's pretty straightforward. Use a reference track if you're quite new to this, and just listen through and note down the sections where things happen and just copy the structure, basically. If it's a similar vibe of the track you're going for, it'll be quite easy to do. And when you have your loop, remember, you don't have to give everything away at once, because then you have nowhere to go. The loop is essentially the climax of the track, and you may or may not use all of the elements, or even have to add in new ones as you start arranging the track. You don't necessarily have to give, there's all sorts of things you can give away, remember, like the individual elements themselves, the power of the elements, such as with the kick and bass, where we introduced a high-passed and low-passed version of it. You can also introduce the chord progression. You can introduce stripped-back versions of the parts, like we did with the lead, and all sorts of things. You can be quite imaginative with this to just get the macro structure down. But in the next video, we'll do the micro-level automation, ear candy, and finishing touches, which you will find super useful to getting this track to sound pro. So there you have it, guys. That's how you can structure and arrange pretty much any track. It's really easy using a reference, but once you've done it a few times, you'll be able to just know where the track is going and what you want to do. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here, guys. You just have to do what's going to work. Where the actual real nitty-gritty stuff comes in is in the micro level of the arrangement, which is stuff that we're going to show you in the next video of this series. So don't forget to hit subscribe because you don't want to miss that one. That's going to really take you to the next level. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a comment below. And if you like the sounds of this video as well, guys, the Sekora pack that we used on Diva is on sale, and through me you can get a 20% discount. The link is in the description if you want to go grab it. It's an absolutely sensational pack. If there's a video you would like me to do in future, do drop a comment because I do read all the comments and I want to serve you guys and help you out. So yeah, hope you enjoy. And if you want to take your music to the next level and do it very quickly, we have a coaching program. You can work with me and the team directly. We can give you actionable feedback on your music, and generally, people that work with this will have at least 3 pro-level label-ready tracks within 6 months or less if you follow the system and you really go through you all. Now, this is a paid program, but if you want to learn more and are serious about leveling up, you can talk with me directly. The link to book a call with me is in the description. Only do this if you're serious. We don't work with everybody and only people that are committed and dedicated, so don't book a call if that's not you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.